Imagine sitting at a table where the future of a startup is being discussed. You're there, officially a limited partner, often seen as someone with money to back the project, but little real say in what happens next. You might feel pushed to the sidelines, like your role is just to fund and wait, powerless to shift the course once the ship is sailing. That frustration is all too real. Feeling like your influence is just a checkbox on a form, your voice drowned out by founders and VCs who claim they know best. But what if that's not actually true? What if, deep down, limited partners are the secret lever that can pull a startup's fate into a different direction? What if your influence could be more than just financial? Could you change a startup's future, even if you're not wearing the CEO's hat or running the operations? The truth is right here, and it's urgent. Limited partners do have power. They hold keys, often invisible, sometimes ignored, but extremely potent. The problem is how to unlock it. Start by hitting that crushing pain point. Many limited partners feel stuck. They pour capital in, watch board meetings from the sidelines, see decisions made without their input, and sometimes watch startups stumble or stray from the vision they believed in. It stings. You invest, you risk, but the control feels absent. That disconnect, that gap between investment and impact, is the abyss that can swallow motivation and trust. This isn't just about money disappearing into a black box. It's about something more personal, your desire to shape what you've put your faith and resources into, to not just be a silent assistant, but a real actor in the story. That pain is valid, but it doesn't have to stay that way, because there is a way to break the chains of passive funding and become an actual force in the startup's journey. Now, before jumping into the usual advice of go to board meetings or communicate more, let's be clear, those are tiny pieces of a much bigger puzzle. What really matters is understanding where your true power lies, not just in inherited rights, but in mindset and strategic moves. Influence isn't a checkbox. It's a muscle you have to build, sharpen, and wield deliberately. You don't need to be a founder. You don't need to micromanage. But you do need to become a partner in the truest sense, someone whose presence shifts the energy, focus, and direction of the startup's path. First, recognize that influence starts with how you position yourself in the founder's world. Too often, limited partners approach interactions like investors expecting to be served, or observers waiting behind closed doors. Instead, own your role as a catalyst. That means showing up not only with money, but with value that founders crave but rarely get: clarity. When founders face chaos, uncertainty, or conflicting advice from advisors, the limited partner who steps in calmly, asking sharp, honest questions, can become the North Star. This is influence in action, asking questions that cut through noise, demanding clarity around the why and how before the what. It's not about control. It's about sharpening the conversation to reveal hidden risks and opportunities. Second, influence grows when you bring perspectives founders don't have. Investors who only track numbers miss the bigger game. Your edge is the unique angle you bring from your experience, your network, or even your own failures. Sometimes that means connecting a founder with the right person who will push their thinking. Other times it means bringing in a fresh way of looking at sales, hiring, product, or culture. Your role becomes not a participant in the chaos, but a steady hand guiding the big picture. Influence is about being the whisper in the ear that founders respect because it's rooted in genuine insight, not ego. Third, influence requires intentional patience. You are not the CEO. You don't make the daily calls. Your power is strategic, reserved for the moments that matter most. Think of it like waiting for the perfect pitch rather than swinging at every ball. When you exert pressure too often or in the wrong way, you risk alienating the very people you want to help. Instead, watch for early signs of missteps, signal quietly when it matters, and build trust over time so your input becomes indispensable rather than intrusive. This is a game of long-term respect, not short bursts of control. Next, break the myth that your only tool is voting power at board meetings. Influence extends far beyond formal rights. It's the story you tell about the company to your own network. It's the way you champion the startup at conferences, in private conversations with other investors, or even in casual gatherings. When you become the startup's ambassador, someone who genuinely believes in the mission and carries that fire openly, you shift perception outside the company in ways founders often can't. That external pressure, layered with partnership, can steer decision-making internally too. Another powerful move comes from nurturing a mindset of relentless curiosity and constructive challenge. Many limited partners settle for safe questions or polite nods. Instead, dive in with relentless curiosity. Ask why assumptions exist, what could derail the plan, or where the passion is fading. When done respectfully, this opens doors to honest conversations founders often hide from themselves. You become a mirror, reflecting not just success stories, but the hidden cracks that no one else dares to expose. Influence by courage is influence that endures. And don't underestimate the strength of selective alignment. You don't have to be everywhere or demand to be involved in every decision. Choose the moments that ignite your deepest conviction and double down there. When you align with founders on core values and vision, your influence magnifies because you're locking into a shared mission. That kind of connection makes your input not just useful, but vital. It pushes founders past comfort zones because they see you as more than an investor. You're a fellow fighter in the trench. Importantly, remember this: influence is a two-way street built on trust and authenticity. Influence without respect is noise. So, build relationships beyond spreadsheets and pitch decks. Know the people, their motivations, pressures, and fears. When founders sense that your questions and nudges come from a place of genuine care, they listen differently. They open up, engage deeper, and invite your input because it feels like a partnership, not pressure. And here's a secret many limited partners miss. Influence can be amplified by collective action. Stand with other LPs who share your mindset. Pool your insights, hold joint conversations, or create informal advisory circles. There is power in numbers only when those numbers are aligned on purpose and approach. A chorus of limited partners, tuned to real impact, can move mountains, especially when they agree on clear values and goals. It turns passive money into active momentum. One last point that shifts everything. Influence is a form of liberation. If you feel boxed in, it's often because the role you're playing was assigned to you by old rules. You can rewrite those rules. Be the limited partner who refuses to be a passenger. Be the one who demands to transcend that script, who chooses to engage, to provoke, to partner intensely, because the startup ecosystem needs this kind of awakening. It needs limited partners who burn not only to see financial returns, but to shape futures, to ensure that their investments grow into legacies. So, the answer is yes, a limited partner can absolutely influence a startup's future. But it's not handed on a silver platter. It's a path paved with presence, patience, curiosity, unwavering integrity, and the courage to challenge the comfortable. It's walking into every interaction, knowing that influence is not about control, but impact. A deep, fundamental shift in how the startup sees itself and moves forward. Your role as a limited partner is a responsibility cloaked in subtle power. The power to awaken founders, to cut through illusions, to align energy with intention, to connect dots others miss, and ultimately to unlock greatness. It's not just capital you bring, it's clarity, courage, and commitment. Those who dare to embrace this don't just watch the future happen, they help build it. If there's a fire inside that tension, the one that whispers you're here for more than checks and quarterly reports, then take that as a sign. Step beyond the role assigned and become the limited partner who transforms quiet investment into roaring influence. Because in this game, power is never about title or stake alone. It's about what you ignite in every moment you choose to engage. That's how legacies start. That's how reality bends. Every second you hesitate, the startup moves. But every second you decide to influence, to care deeply, to act with intention, you rewrite the trajectory. The secret is not wishing you had more say, it's choosing to have it. So the question isn't just, can a limited partner influence a startup's future? It's, will a limited partner rise up, claim that power, and change what's next? That answer is yours. And it starts now.